Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My apology for taking a little moment. Facebook told me I've got no permission to live stream, so I had to restart the whole going live story. And let me say good evening to everybody. It is Monday evening and it's the 17th of October, and we're in one of those, what do we call it, funny seasons where the market, I call it shuffling. The market's not anything, there's no indication. The market is shuffling sideways, and in that sideways shuffle, we have a load of information that's coming out from the rest of the financial world, a load of information coming out with regards to the fight that we have in Ukraine. And so there's a lot of things on the table, a lot of business numbers coming out this week, dividends being declared, company results coming out, and there's a lot of things happening around, let alone the inflation numbers and employment numbers that came out a week ago. So there's a lot of things happening in the market, but the crypto market is shuffling along sideways. And as you've seen on our invite tonight and on the start of the screen, that tonight we will talk about, this is time to update your TradingView charts and prepare yourself for what is to come. It's a time to just go and make sure that you go and chart every little thing that you need to have charted, so that you learn and do the stuff and get into the good habits. And the key is to write down what you're going to do, to write down the what, the how, the why, so that you can remember that whenever the market stop going sideways, that you at least remember where you are going in the market. Allow me to just share this with you and say, tonight we talk about update your TradingView charts and getting yourself ready and recording. My apology, I should just share that chart. So tonight we talk about update your TradingView charts and getting yourself ready for whenever the market stop going sideways. Yeah, it is fun and games, and we have loads of fun and games while the market's going sideways. We have chats with people, and some of them complain bitterly for what is happening, but some people are very happy with what is happening. So it depends on which side of the line you're, and when we have a discussion with you one-on-one, we will know exactly which side of the line you are. But tonight it's not about me, it's about our subject matter expert in the crypto school on crypto trading, and none other than Jason Ashington himself. We also, after Jason, will have Phip Smith saying hello to you tonight, and we will later hear from Phip Smith. But we also have Marius Adams on the call, the wealth coach, and he will also share a little with you tonight. Let's start and get rolling with, I've now introduced our three co-hosts, but let's start with our subject matter expert on crypto trading in the crypto school. Jason, will you say hello and then position the charts for us?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Absolutely, Donnie. I don't know what you call a sideways market. They've got a name for a market that's moving up, a bull market, and a market that's moving down as a bear market. But for the last month, it's been going sideways. So we haven't got a name for that just yet. But
a shuffling market, Jason. A shuffling market.
The shuffling market's caused you a lot of frustration out there. But in between the frustration, there is a few altcoins that have been moving. And I'd like to just show you in the last week, and this is the top 100 coins. We got some coins that have done very well. HT, this QNT coin is now at $206. In the middle of June this year, it was at $40. So QNT has gone up 5 times in the last 4 months. CSPR 43, DNS 14.7. We got KuCoin's native coin, like the BNB for Binance at 11.6. Maker, I think, is this one, yeah, 15.6. And then we got some smaller ones at 10%. And then if we go to Binance exchange itself, PHA, I'm not too sure what that coin is, 173, MDX 111, PVRVX 80, then we got some ones at 67. Still majority obviously reddish here, but you can see quite a few greens coming through here. And then KuCoin, that holds a lot of the micro alts You can see all these coming through. PHA, we said energy, web token 25, LTO 40%, MNW 72, NQ 60%. I'd just like to move over to the daily here because there was some coins yesterday that moved quite a bit in the last 24 hours. I think it was a coin called Flame. I think it was possibly the day before. I think that coin did almost 200% in the last day here. Let's just go to Binance for the last day. Yeah, a few Tornado Cash 23, AOX 20, Index. But you see quite a bit of green here in the last day that's coming through here. Now that's on the altcoins. If we go and have a look at Bitcoin, last week this time, the date was around the 10th of October, and we were pretty much the same price that we are today, 19,500. But you can see what's happened now in the last, 18th of June, we were at the same price where we are today. We went right up to 25 and we've come back all the way down, back to the same price again. And we've been in the sideways motion now since the end of August, from the beginning of September. So 6 weeks, we've just been trading sideways, and it's causing a lot of frustration. People giving up on crypto because of the sideways action. They're getting frustrated. Every time they come into a trade, the trade just goes up 2 or 3%, then comes back down again, and they end up losing money, getting stopped out. So it's causing a lot of unhappiness, this sideways action. But you can see what's happened right now is that we've got a descending resistance line here that's been coming down since the middle of August. And we tried to actually break out of it this afternoon, but that has been unfortunately rejected there, right at that. Came up, it got rejected here at 19,650, and it's come down again. Unfortunately, the indicators are quite high at the moment. The 4 hours stock, for example, is right at the top. These are the indicators that I use. 8 hours right at the top, 12 hours at the top, but daily still at the bottom, trending up. So we might have a bit of sideways action here over the next day or two before possibly trying to have another attempt to hopefully break out of here. Now, if we go to higher time frames, Donnie, will you just let the people in there?
Yeah, Marius is doing that. Thank you, Jason.
Okay, so if we go to the weekly now, on the weekly, we are still in this falling wedge formation. That trend line has actually been broken, but price is just going sideways there. You see how it's broken out there and just pretty much going sideways. This actual resistance line on the weekly didn't actually hold any reference to a breakout at all. Tried to break out, went straight into resistance here. 2,600 has come back down again. So we'll work on this one for now. Hopefully we'll get some sort of action if it does break out of here to the upside there. So the drivers of both the stock market and the crypto market is two things. Firstly, the DXY, that is, it shows you the strength of the US dollar against a basket of other fiat currencies. And we've been in an uptrend here since the beginning of the year, but it started ramping up quite a bit since the interest rates started going up in March this year. And what has happened here, it's gone up and it looks like it's had a bit of a parabolic blow top here, a bit of a euphoria move, and it's hit resistance here at 115 or so, and we've come down and we've gone up, and it looks like it's got rejected at the 71%, similar to what you on the Wall Street cheat sheet, where you got a move back up to complacency, normally around 71%, and you can see they've come up to actually the 786, and we're starting to trend down. There's a possibility still that we come down to this trend line here. We've got a small trend line from the middle of August here, this dotted line. We can come back down here and then possibly move up from there, or even come down to this bottom trend line that comes all the way from February this year. So the bigger one is down the bottom, and then the smaller one is at the top. There's still a possibility of doing that. But it's nice to see that the DXY has started to come down. And then the second one is the 10-year yield, and the 10-year yield is right at 4%, and it's trying to push through. And this resistance comes back right from 2008, 9, and 10, where we had resistance here, 2008, 9, and 10, trying to get through this 4%, and it's acting as resistance now at the moment. Hoping for a rejection here and for at least to start going sideways and not moving up like it has been doing since the beginning of August. So DXY started trending down, 10-year yield still up the top here, trying to push out through this resistance. And then with this DXY dropping today, we've seen massive moves here. The NASDAQ at one stage was up 4%. It's now at 3.45. But I'm going to have a look at the S&P. The S&P for the last 10 months has been in this massive falling sort of megaphone structure. It is bullish. There's a bigger chance of a break to the upside than to the downside. But remember, it can still break to the downside. But since the middle of August, been in a falling sort of channel, this small falling channel, and right now price is right at the top, right against that line that you can see we just got rejected there currently. So this morning we were looking at Friday's numbers, and Friday we were still below the June low, and the June low was this low here, going back where we now September, going to the 12-hour here. Yeah, there was the June low here, and on Friday we actually was below it, but it was nice to see that we've come back up above the June low once again. And we're hitting against this resistance line that seems to be acting as resistance at the moment. So we want to see a breakout here on the S&P, and that would possibly take us up, if we do break out, that will possibly take us up to this sort of levels of around about here, where I've got resistance here. I've got a sell up there. Could take us up there to about 3.9, maybe. But it just depends if we do break out here over the next day or two. And if we go and have a look at Dow Jones, similar pictures, up 2% today. We've Friday finished off around 29,720. Now we're right up at 30,200. Also above the June lows at the moment. So looking a bit bullish this week, not looking too bad at all, but we obviously want to see continuation of this bullish that is going to cause us to break out of this channel that we've been in, and then a move to the upside from there. If we go up and have a look at the Bitcoin dominance is in a rising wedge formation, and before that, it came all the way down here to a low point of 39%. We had the ETH merge on, I think, was around about the 9th of September. And it's normally buy the rumor, sell the news. So on the date the news, Ethereum started dropping. And look how the dominance shot up. And we've been in a rising wedge since the middle of September. And now with the rising wedge, there's normally a bigger chance of a break to the downside, a 68% chance break to the downside as opposed to a break to the upside. But remember, there is a 32% chance of a break to the upside. And if you do break to the upside out of these sort of structures, there's normally quite a violent move to the upside. If there's ever like a drop in the market, for example, the alts normally drop quicker than Bitcoin. That causes the dominance in Bitcoin to increase, and that would be a violent move if we see a break to the upside out of this. But for now, we're currently in a rising channel, small rising channel here on the 1 hour. That is normally bearish. That means a drop down here, and that could lead to money flowing now into the alts. And so that will be quite good for the altcoins. So even if Bitcoin at the moment for the next day or two just trends sideways after getting rejected here at 19,600, even if this just trends sideways, we could have some upside here in altcoins if we see a break to the downside here in in this dominance. So it's a very good chart to be looking at least 2 or 3 times a day to see what the dominance is doing. Gives you indication where the money is flowing. If we go to look at the ETH dominance, that is dropped off since the ETH merge on the 9th of September. We were right up at 20% at that stage. And you can see it's come down and found support at 18%. And it's been in that sideways since the 21st September. It was up here at 21%. Come right down to 18%, found support and just trending sideways. The total market cap is also in a falling channel. If we look here on the weekly, sorry for all these lines, but on the weekly from November, almost a year now, we've been in this falling channel. And right now we're in a wedge formation. Now, these sort of actions normally lead to continuous in price in the direction it came to. So it came from the top down, going sideways. There's normally a chance that we do break to the downside where price just continues. But remember, there's always a chance that we break to the upside too. And pretty much like Bitcoin tried to break to the upside earlier today, and it got rejected at that resistance line, which happened to be exactly 900 billion. And that 900 billion is also acting as very strong resistance. You can see it's where it's been support previously, which is now turned into resistance. And we tried to break through the earlier, got rejected back into that structure again and coming down. So it's important that possibly you trend sideways, but it's important that we do break out and get above this 900 billion as quickly as possible. Total 2 now excludes Bitcoin, and you can see what's happened there is that it's tried to break up, and now it's starting to come down on the 4 hour. On the 1 hour, you can see it's broken up to, not even up to resistance, up to 524, and we're starting to come down again. So, fingers, when it gets to here, to this previous resistance, will this now act as support here, or are we going to break back into the structure again and come down to the next support at 550? Not too sure yet. Have to wait for it to get down to that level. If it does get to that level, and see what happens from there. But pretty much like the total, it's also in a mass falling sort of channel from November last year, almost a year, and we've gone into other smaller channels here. And you can see that it's been very tight over the last month, sideways, broken down slightly, come back up, and it's gone up here. Okay, this is giving me a different view here, but it came to 524. It's got rejected there. Now we just have to wait and see what happens here. Are we going to break back down into the structure here? So unfortunately, we have to wait and see what happens over the next couple of days around total 2. Now, total 3 excludes Ethereum and Bitcoin. And yeah, we're in a falling sort of channel. Also come up to this line here. And we have got rejected there. Come down, falling back down again. So 365 is resistance here. And we're now at 359. Support's at 356. So it's a very tight range between these two support and resistance line. But yeah, this sort of sideways action in breaking down to the downside is a bit concerning, because we've seen a lot of those patterns currently, and obviously in Bitcoin too, seen a similar thing where we got sideways action currently, exactly the same sideways action, and a normally 68% chance of a break to the downside where price continues with the direction where it came from. We're hoping that we do get a break to the upside out of here. But nonetheless, if we still trend sideways with Bitcoin over the next couple of days, and we do see that dominance starting to break to the downside, we could have a bit of a run in alts. Okay, let's go on the higher time frame here. So Ethereum dropped on the 9th of September after that ETH merge, and it's been in the downwards sorry, it really started dropping on the 13th of August. Apologies. It was at $2,000. It got rejected there and started dropping, went up here for that ETH merge up to 1780, and then it's dropped all the way down. And now we're in a bearish pennant. This white pennant is bearish because the entry's from the top. And as I say, normally with these structures, they carry on with the trend that they've come into the structure with. And this instance is a 68% chance of a break to the downside here. But it is also 32% chance of a break to the upside. So it's not all doom and gloom. We have to unfortunately wait for price to break out of the structure to get an idea of where it is actually going. On Thursday, we had this massive whipsaw price action from these manipulators in the market, where on Ethereum, for example, it dropped from 1,300 all the way down to 1,200, $100 within, what is this time frame? That was actually in the afternoon. And then they pushed the price all the way back up again to 1,344 and then dropped it again. So these whales have been playing games here where they've captured liquidity. They've captured liquidity to the downside, because normally those people that have got longs here, leveraged longs, they would put their stop loss at just below this support line here. So they've dropped it here. They've triggered all the stops. Prices dropped here. They pushed it back up here. And you would see with Bitcoin where it actually went up above a support line, resistance line up here, and I think it was here. What was Thursday's date? It was this one here. So they pushed the price down on Bitcoin, they pushed it back up again, captured liquidity to the top, and then they brought it back down again. So that is with Ethereum in a bearish pennant, but once again, we're in this falling channel, like we've seen with Bitcoin, and also all the total 1, 2, and 3 in this falling channel. And now we're in a bearish sort of wedge right now. As I say, not too clear, what Bitcoin's going to do here. We have got rejected. We could see some sideways action here over the next couple of days, but we're very close to a decision time here. The date here, right at the end, is the 21st of October. So this is about 4 or 5 days away before the decision. Remember, we can still break to the side here and carry on going sideways too. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to break to the upside or to the downside, but you can see this range is getting very tight at the moment. So I think we're very close to a decision there. Could possibly be sideways. As I say, with the dominance, we could see a drop in the dominance that could cause the alt to actually move over the next couple of days. But we have to be very careful with what Bitcoin's going to do here. I'm going to show you what happened here in 2018, and the top is 2018, and we're in a bear market there, and we stayed in at a price level around about 6,500 for a very long time, pretty much like we've seen now with our current price at around about 20,000. And we're also in this sort of bearish structure. And one day it just dropped right through that structure, and it carried on dropping for almost a month, from 6.5 all the way down to 3.5. Went right down to 3.5 here. Took 1 month to get down there. So we've seen a similar structure. I don't believe in fractals at all. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be doom and gloom and break to the downside. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that make sure you've got tight stop losses in place. You want to protect capital if there is a violent move down to the downside. But it's looking very similar to 2018 currently. Donnie, that's it from me for now. I will come back just now.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. And it's always interesting and riveting to just see the way that you chart. And I see 1 or 2 of those charts, you actually need a red background, and you don't have to have all those lines. But they are so busy, it looks like a red chart. It looks like you're going to weave a mat in there. But that's how you chart, and that's how you know exactly what's happening and where we're going. So thank you for sharing that with us. It's not everybody that's willing to come and share their charts that they diligently keep for so long already, and just come and share. And thank you. I always, while you're busy charting, look at my chart, and I know I've made 1 or 2 mental notes. I've written 2 things down on my little piece of paper, so I'll have to go and change my charts or update my charts. On that note, let's go to Fib Smith. Fib Smith, what's your reply to what Jason said, and then where are you taking us tonight?
Yeah, first of all,
Sorry, Fib Smith, I have to talk over you. You had your birthday this weekend, so Fib Smith is still a young man. I'm not going to tell you his age, because then he's going to have a lot of marriage proposals again, because he's still very young. But Fib Smith, happy birthday. And we really speak a blessing into the year ahead. But on that note, I will stop shouting over you.
Thanks so much. And Stephen, you asking, must we sing? Jason already sang. Oh, is it the right word? Anyways, you already did that, and ask Donnie to send that recording to me. I'm gonna make that my ringtone. But yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate it. So first of all, like I said, I love charts. I really do love charts. I'm not gonna go through my charts again. You guys know already what I feel. Oh, there's actually one thing that I can share, and I'm really excited. I just want this stupid market to do something, because we've been ranging in this area for a long time. So I'm excited, and yeah, whether we're going up or down, personally, I'm still bullish. And let me just quickly share my screen. I'm just on one screen here. I'm not at my office. So yeah, let's just share the screen. Okay, cool. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. So this is just on the daily Bitcoin. You can check it on the weekly, whatever you want. I'll just make it a bit bigger. So for me, I'm still bullish, and you guys can go back and watch previous shows and you'll know why. But for me, I'm gonna be bullish until that line. And I still have my orders. I told Jason I still have my orders in lower if that scenario plays out. So that's gonna be exciting. But personally, I'm bullish until we go below that level there. And the reason why I'm bullish is because of all that previous data that I showed. And you'll hear in the market, most of the guys are bearish. And that is the main reason why I'm actually still bullish, because if everybody sees the same thing, usually it doesn't happen. But it's going to be exciting when we go down, because, yeah, anyways, why not get Bitcoin cheaper? I just think I just have to share my screen again, because there's something I want to share. Desktop, okay, cool. I shared a while ago, I shared with you guys about Bybit and that copy trading. And I quickly want to recap a bit on that. And I don't have a lot to say tonight, but yeah, so I shared this with you guys the other day. And you can see it on Bybit, and there's copy trading, and Mexi has copy trading. I think Binance has copy trading. But anyway, I created an account, and I just put in $100 there the last time with that account. And that guy just wrecked that account, but I left it because I want to like play with the stuff, so that if people ask me, then I can answer them, because I went through the processes and stuff. So I had 2 accounts. I had one account that I started when I first saw this, and then I created an account where I showed you guys how it works and stuff like that. And that guy I followed, he just got wrecked. But this guy I'm following on this, my first account when I started, this guy's name is, I think, Positive Lee. Let me just check if I can see where his name is. Positive Lee, there you can see it. So I've been following this guy, and this guy he really operates, and he's consistent. And I want to show you guys. So I lost that other $100, but in this account I started with $300, and then every time it went to 350, I took $50. So it started with $300 again. And so I did that until I doubled my money. So you can see now what I do is, every time, for instance, what happened was it went to $400, then I took 50 out, so now it starts at 350. So now what I'm going to do is, when it gets to 450, I'm going to take 50 again. So then it starts at 400 and it compounds. But you can see here, my total P&L is $507. So I more than doubled this account with this guy. So there's really cool stuff that you can do, and you can go back, and please don't just go and put all your money with one guy. It is really risky. And the nice thing is, you can actually go back and see the history of their orders. You can see what trades they took. So you can really see how they perform. Yeah, this is just something cool. I really like stuff like this. And yeah, you can set your amounts. Like for instance, I let them use $30 per trade. And if your account grows a bit, you can even make that a bit more. But yeah, so it is risky. But like for instance, this Positively guy, I've been following this for 2-3 months, I can't remember, and he really does good. So yeah, this is what I wanted to share.
Cool. Thank you, Andre. Yes, I could see there in the date that you started that portfolio, you've been doing it for 2 months on that Positively guy. Before that, you had the guy that wrecked you, but for 2 months you've been busy with Positively, and that's a good P&L. So thank you for sharing that. Marius, what do you have to bring to the table tonight, buddy?
Hey, Daniel, thank you. It's great to be here. I'm alive and well in this market. So we are swimming. Yeah, what I do is I follow some signals, and I just pull this from a Telegram channel because there's so much information of signals on that Telegram channel. But yeah, what happened in the last week, and I saw that Jason shared the QNT, but this was obvious now more than a week ago that they gave this signal. So it was a great gain of 117% on the medium trade reports that I get, and on the day trades, a great 17% on Sushi, and on Qcoin 5.71% within an hour. And this was now today. This coin still a lot to offer to us. So yeah, Daniel, what I just do is that I follow the signals and make a few percentages on the sideline. So yeah, there's still money to be made, even if we are in a sideways market. And I also saw on the chat that Stephen Bartwell said he's been scalping PHA for a couple of days, and that is great news. So yeah, Daniel, that is where I am. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Marius, and thank you for sharing that with us. Allow me to just quickly show you our YouTube channel, and just remind you to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Crypto School. There's our name, The Crypto School YouTube channel. And you'll see there's videos here that are 167 views. There's one with 133 views. So some of them get serious views, 309 views. Sometimes Jason brush his teeth or comb his hair, and then we get over 200 views. But sometimes, I don't know why. But yeah, all I say is we have a place where you can go watch our videos, the Crypto School YouTube channel. And please don't shy away from visiting the Crypto School YouTube channel, and go watch it, go show it, share it to your friends. And if you find something informative in there, make sure you share it. Jason, wind up this evening for us, buddy.
Thanks, Daniel. I just want to do a bit of education at the moment right now. So what I want to show you here is that if we go back and have a look at previous bear markets and where Bitcoin normally retraces to, and I'm going to just go here on Binance. Binance hasn't got much of a history before August 2017, but that's fine. If we take the high of the bull market then of 19,836 and the bottom of the bear market on the 17th of August and just measure it, we can see that normally around about 84 to 86% retracement on Bitcoin. So if we look at that in 2018 was 84% retracement. Now we apply the same sort of, if we base on what we saw in history where Bitcoin retraces to, that 84, 85% retracement would take us down from the 68,800 in November last year down to 10,000, roughly around 10,200. That's the 85% retracement. I'm not saying we're going to get there, but based on history, 3 times where we've had bear markets, it has always retraced to that number between 84 and 86%. So let us just use this number now to work out the maths of 10,200. So how do you work out what potentially those altcoins are going to drop to? It is quite difficult, but you can get a sort of thumbsuck sort of idea where they would retrace to. So If you go to the, I'm going to use 3 coins here. I'm going to use Phantom, Theta, and Sol. So Phantom to Bitcoin, we can go and look at where we are now, which is at 1,073 sats, and just go back in history and just try and mark out where we see any support. Now, we had a drop here in June to 800 sats. You can see there, that is acting as a support line. And then if we go a bit lower than that, we've got one here a bit lower, down right at 500 sats down the bottom here. Now, if you take a calculator out and you take the 10,200 and you times it by this number here that we could potentially go down to, and you work it out. So if you take 10,200 times that first support level of 0.123458, that brings us down to 8 cents potentially on Phantom if this support holds here at 800. Obviously, if we drop even lower than that, that could bring the price down to even lower than 8 cents. Now, where was Phantom here in November last year? And you can see that, if I can just delete all this fibs here, we were in September last year, October last year, we were right up at 350. So if you manage to pick up Phantom at 8 cents, and in the next bull market, it just goes up to this 350 again and matches that. Imagine what type of return that is. So it does make sense to try and get Phantom when it's low, at a low price, below 10 cents. The next one we can look at is Theta. And Theta at the all-time high was at $16. Currently it's at $1. So it was $16 in April last year and it's dropped all the way down to $1. If we go have a look at Theta against Bitcoin and just mark out some levels of support here, we can see that we've come down to, in June, down to 400 sats. And we can see some other sort of levels here, possibly down a bit lower here. What's that? 300. So below 400, we've got 300. But let's just work on 400 for now. And if we take 10,200 times by 12340, 400, that will bring Theta down to 40 cents as a rough estimate. Might even drop lower than that. It might even drop to 300 cents. So we go to 300 sats, 1234 times by 10,200. That'll bring it to 30 cents down the bottom here. And even if we go up again from 30 cents back up to the 16, what type of return is that, Donnie? That is a massive return. And
grab your ruler there and plot it.
Sorry?
Grab your ruler and plot that return.
Exactly. And that is where the money is made. The money is made in the bear market, where you can actually get these coins at a cheaper price. So I'm going to take from 40 cents here. Let's just put it in there, 0 to 40. And just take a ruler and just measure. That's a massive 3,300%. So if you put $1,000 in there, $1,000 times by 3,300%, you come out with $33,000. And we've heard numerous cases where people put $15,000 into the bear market when it's right in the bottom here, and have come out with $1 million after 8 to 12 months. Okay, so I'm not saying you can get the same sort of results again, but it just shows you what you can achieve if you manage to get these coins very low. Let's have a look at Solana quickly. Solana at the all-time high was at $260. 260, we now at 30. If we just have a look at Sol BTC, quickly, Sol BTC is currently at 15,750 sats. And if we look at area support, we've got you at 11,500. And then there's another one here, a bit lower here at 7,600 sats. So if we take out a calculator once again, 11,700 by $10,200. That will bring us down to $12. This support here. So Bitcoin goes down to 10,200. And we see that Solana drops on the pairing against Bitcoin down to this 12,000 sats. That's going to give us a Solana for $12. If we drop through there and come down to the next level of support of 7,800 and apply the same math there, 7,800 times by 10,200, that will give us a Solana price of $8 down the bottom here. So if you pick up Solana at $12 and you ride it all the way back to that all-time high again, sorry, wrong chart. Solana, we pick up Solana here, and now I need to put a line in here of $12. So if you ride this all the way from 12, that's 2,200% if Solana goes back to the all-time high here. So they talk about money being made in the bear market. And this is what we're talking about. Once it comes down to here, it normally goes sideways for quite a bit. And that is where you've got opportunity to buy some of these very good layer one projects at a very cheap price.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. Yes, it's definitely something. I looked at ADA today with from the same point of view this morning. It was just one of the coins that I looked at, and I've done exactly the same math on ADA. And it's phenomenal if you just go back to what it's done in the past and where it should go to. But if you go look at the past, it never stops at the previous all-time high. It always goes close on double that. So it's just phenomenal. But we don't have a crystal ball. We still stay safe. We protect your capital. And we thank our three participants tonight. I'm going to ask them to each say one-liner to finish the evening for us. And I'm going to start with Marius, then Phip Smith, and then Jason. And just the last word from you for this evening, something that people can go chew on while they go to bed. Marius, one-liner from you.
Yes, Daniel, thank you for the beginners and also the more advanced investors and traders in the room. There's always money to be made in crypto, more than any other market. So go out there, work out your strategy and make some extra dollars. So yeah, Daniel, I still stay bullish in the crypto market. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Marius. Phip Smith, your last words for the evening.
Yeah, guys, so this weekend I spoke to someone and he asked me about crypto and trading and stuff. And but it's like really asked me like, but isn't it like gambling? And I said to him, you gamble when you buy and sell cars, you gamble when you farm. It's the same principle then. Then I told him that it's only gamble when you don't use risk management and you don't have a strategy. Then it's gamble. But if you have your strategy and you have your risk management in place, then it's not gamble. So make sure you're not gambling.
Cool. But good advice from the young man tonight. Make sure you have a strategy. Remember what I said at the beginning. It's time to go update your charts, but it's time to go and record and plot what your action is going to be when the market is doing what. We need to know. You need to have a piece of paper telling you what you're going to do. Because the moment that something happens to this market, either up or down, it's too late. You have to have it written down, because otherwise you go and act on emotion. And when you act on emotion, that's when you give your gains back to the market. And we should not afford that. You should not do that. So Jason, try and top the last words from those two guys.
Thanks, Daniel. So the previous bear market in 2018 was roughly 12. I do think that we are very close to a bottom here as far as time-wise. I'm not talking about price at all here. I'm talking about time-wise. I think we're very close. I think by the end of the year, we should be close to the bottom. And the bottom will be when the Fed pivots on the interest rate hikes. I'm not saying they're going to go from 75 basis points now down to zero. It might go 75, 50, 25, 0. But as soon as they start pivoting and the DXY already starts to drop, I think that'll be the turnaround for both the stock and the crypto markets. And don't get so frustrated now. I know it's very hard with this market going sideways, but we'll be out of the crypto winter soon and there'll be sunny days again. And those gains will be coming back to us again. Don't think that is now all and finished and we're not going to see those gains again. That crypto bull run will come around again. Thanks, Donnie.
Cool. Yes. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for those kinds words. The bulls will get back into the market. It depends on whether you are still in the market when the bulls return. That's the key. And we should not capitulate and get out of the market now. This is a time to hold some money in reserve so that we can climb in. Thank you for joining us tonight. We trust that you had some idea on how to go update your charts and then plotting some lines down that you're going to follow once we have the direction where the market is going. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a privilege serving you tonight from the Crypto School. Have a good evening. Goodbye.